Bit mat first, yeah? If we look at these, oh buddy, okay? So just look at these top of the backswing positions there now, okay? So this right one, you can see much more kind of depth with your left arm. I mean, your left arm looks longer, doesn't it? Because you just turned more. Now, you said yourself, limited flexibility. You've got enough, yeah? You can make that move. The problem is before, I mean, because you thought the ball would go more this way, the thought of taking the club kind of around here just didn't make any sort of logical sense. So as you kind of went back here, the club went back okay. Then you kind of stalled things out and sort of lifted your arms up, so you get this sort of like cramped or tucked up lifty position here now. And because of that there now, it's almost a predetermined over the top. I mean, the club now coming through sort of your right sort of neck area, quite steep here, yeah?
I've noticed before I would come down at a very steep club angle.
Yeah, so when that club is coming steep, you either hit the ground really heavy or you miss the ground. And you said yourself, you're not someone taking divots, because on this angle now, which is the club comes into sort of the hitting area here now, the hands are getting away from the body, the club shaft now outside your hands there quite a bit. Just the right foot sort of reacting as the clubs kind of go there. There's this sort of motion going on. And if we look at the difference there in terms of where your hands are sort of coming into impact compared to this one, where you did all this stuff before, so you're getting that hip turn and shoulder turn, yeah? And then practicing that, yeah? So much. I mean, this is way behind and probably more than we want it to be, but compared to where you were, that's a very, very different position, yeah? So you practice that, because in reality, when the ball gets there, it's not going to be that extreme, you see. So you practice the exaggerated swing at the other side. Then as you swing back now, good hip turn, top of the backswing. Now as you come back down, look at that swing plane. You're coming through your right forearm there now. Next frame down should have it. There you go. There's kind of the club head. Basically your right forearm, so you're much more on plane. Club is coming down much more on the inside. Your arms are now more connected into your body a little bit. We haven't sort of suggested a lot of these things. These things just happen now when the body's working better. The reason why you get a couple where you just catch the ground a bit behind the golf ball is because you haven't quite shifted your body to the left correctly in terms of your left hip, using that wall drill, kind of bumping the wall there with that left hip. What you've done is you sort of got here and just basically hung back on it and hit the ground early. Now that kind of hanging back, as we said, is very common as someone hitting that shot. How do we fix people hitting the ball to the right? They tend to hang back and try and swing to the left, yeah? There's still that element in your mind, I guess, of where the ball's going to go, and almost trying to fix it. Again, a conscious thought you're probably even doing, which is why it's so difficult to change, because you're not doing, I must stop going right, I've got to start going on my back foot and pulling it left. I don't think anyone deliberately thinks that. But once the ball starts going a certain direction and you're on the range, on the course, and you've had enough blooming earful of a ball, keep missing, I've had enough of this. I'm going to do something, aren't you? Yeah, and that's something in your case, with again, hanging back, swinging the arms left, and just fixing that kind of push or cut or whatever you had before, yeah? So now the body's got to just move a little bit more to the left to change that low point. Basically, your low point from the sort of middle here of your pelvis, when you're coming back down now, there's your low point there with the hands and this bit get on top of the golf ball, yeah? If I'm back here, yeah, I'm back behind the golf ball, you're hitting the ground back there. But apart from one, has any shot gone right at target since you've taken that club further back behind you? No. And the one that did go right was a really good strike. It was like 5 yards right, because you held on to it a little bit because you had a couple of hooky ones, that's all. But nothing's blocked or cut off to the right, yeah? So by getting that body to work better, getting the arms to work around here, we sort of fixed the initial fault. Now it's, which takes longer, it's fixing the instinct, yeah? Your instincts are still trying to stop it going right, isn't it? If you hit enough balls that go right to left, you're not going to stop that anymore now, are you? Because the ball's not doing what you're trying to stop, yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah. You're trying to, you adjust things physically, and then you've got to overcome kind of what your brain's telling you that you need to do, yeah? Which, unfortunately, does take a little bit longer. But I would say the best shot you hit was when you spent a minute or two up against here, and we sort of stood there, and you got used to that hip kind of bumping into the wall, and just moving from the top here now. Once you've got that movement, yeah? That club was coming the golf ball nice. You sort of stood there and sort of did this against the wall, back and forth, yeah? And then you stepped to the golf and you right, hit it, and you absolutely flushed it, yeah? And it went like 20 yards further. So that's the one shot there you got. So that just shows the potential is there. A minute on there equals one good shot out of 10. 10 minutes on there might equal 10 good shots out of 10. An hour on there over a period of, I know, a week or a month or whatever, which is certainly doable, yeah? I mean, you sort of put the kettle on, just stand there, even that golf club, just stand there and just start bumping your left hip into the wall or furniture or whatever around the house you can find, yeah? Just getting that sensation of how that body's going to move better rather than that way or kind of off the back foot. Okay? That makes sense, yeah? Have a couple more then, buddy. Yeah, get that feeling in your head now as we're going through, and I'll load these up.